Who can say where the road goes, where the day flows, only time. And who can say if your love grows as your heart shows, only time.
So this isn't the type of video that I guess you ever think you're gonna make, but it seemed like it was probably worth doing given how many videos I've posted to the channel and how much time and effort I've put into the car. But I totaled the Spyder. I was leaving work, and parking where I work is really, really bad. Not that the organization I work for has done a bad job with parking, there just isn't enough of it. So people park illegally, parking on curbs, parking at the ends of lines of cars, everything like that. And I've been driving the Spyder to work because I felt like it was the right time of year to drive it, and I wanted to enjoy it more rather than just it being parked in the garage. So I was taking it to work, and had to pull out of a line of cars, and there was a big Jeep parked right at the end, and I couldn't really see into the oncoming lane of traffic in this parking lot around the Jeep. So I rolled forward as far as I could, and I could see maybe like, I don't know, 60, 70 feet away, like far enough to tell that at 10 miles an hour, like nobody's right here, So looked left, looked right, looked left again, looked right one more time because I couldn't really see as well as I wanted to. All right, looked left, started to pull out, and there was another car right there. And I head-oned a Fusion. So if you drive like a 2013 Ford Fusion, your car is really good in low-speed head-on collisions because the other car was just a little bit dinged up, and the front of the Spyder on the corner was pretty much completely caved in. It's my fault, and I didn't contest it at all. It's easy to make excuses in a situation like this. Like, yeah, the parking situation was really bad, and if people had not been parked where they were, like if they'd been parked in the correct lanes, I probably would have seen the car coming. It's also, my fault, kind of, because I'm driving a really, really low car with terrible visibility. That's my decision. I also have good reason to believe that the other driver was going a lot faster than they were supposed to be in the parking lot, but it'd be almost impossible to prove that. I don't think they were playing on their phone or anything. I just think they were going a little bit fast, and I didn't see them where I thought they'd be when I pulled out. But ultimately, that responsibility is with me because I pulled out into the lane. So the really frustrating thing about this is over 3 years of work by me and my father-in-law. Tons of autocrossing, amazing trips, places with my friends driving this car, hundreds of hours, thousands of dollars, and a stupid 15, 20 mile an hour parking lot collision is what did it in. Put about 7,000 miles on the swap. Engine was fine, transmission was fine. The rebuilt transmission that was a lot of time and money, that's fine. Suspension was fine, wheels were fine. Pretty much all the work I did to the car survived, but none of that work is really worth anything. The car was totaled. It's an old car, it's not hard to do. The buyback was gonna be like $3,700, which really isn't worth it. I would not be able to park the car back out for $3,700. And from looking at the damage, I'm positive I would not be able to make the car road legal again. I could probably, like, if I learned how to weld and I got tube steel, I could probably make a tube front end and still autocross it, but honestly, I don't think it's worth it. I think I would be trying to hold on to the car for the wrong reasons, more out of stubbornness. I think it's better just to cut losses and move on. Not because I didn't love the car. I did love the car. I mean, that was my first engine swap. I learned how to do so many things to that car that I'd never done to any car before. I knew every bolt on the thing. I knew exactly how it performed. In many ways, that's going to be an unforgettable car for me. Like, in the pantheon of cars you might own over a given life, which I hope I own a bunch. My first car, my BMW, is probably going to be pretty high up there. And the Spyder is probably going to be pretty high up there too. So my insurance company had no problem with me going to the lot where the car got towed and pulling my wheels off of it, like the 949 6ULs and the tires and everything. I also got the strut tower bar and a couple other things I could easily remove. I put the shift knob in the RAV4, so it's going to live on there. And then I signed the title over and got some money for it. I got more money than I paid for the car, but a lot less money than I put into the car, and obviously not counting my time. So that's a bummer too. But honestly, I'm less upset about it than I thought I would be. I think it's because I didn't have to make hard decisions about, like, the car's rusting or the engine goes again, and I have to decide, do I put money into it to limp it along because I love it, or do I let it go? In a way, it being taken away from me in a split second almost makes it better. I don't know if that makes sense, but it makes it easier because there's nothing I could really do to get the car back into the condition it was. All that's left to do is accept it and move on, and that's what I've done. So I didn't have the crash a couple days ago. It's actually been a couple weeks. I just didn't really want to talk about it till now because I wanted to make sure I knew exactly how I felt. So I know how I feel about it now. It was a great car. I'm going to miss it. I'm really bummed that I didn't get to enjoy it more, and I think I'm going to move on to a different platform, a car that's easier to build on and easier to turn into more of a race car. One thing I figured out from this crash is that I don't think I want to do a lot of street driving with a car of that size because my head cleared the airbag, and that's not something I was expecting. But in the days after the crash, like when everything starts aching a little bit, my arm ached because it had been turning and the airbag hit it. My leg was a little bit sore where the airbag hit it, and my throat was sore up to about here. But my face felt totally fine. It never felt like the bag hit me at all. No tenderness there. That was all in my neck and chest. So with that in mind, I don't think I want to be driving a car like that on the street. Not that I'll never do it, but I don't think that's going to be like my cruise around the mountains sports car, just because I don't know if that's safe. Besides being small, I'm concerned if the built-in safety equipment, if I'm too tall to use it, then I probably shouldn't be driving it. So for a track car, not a big deal for the next thing I get. I'm also getting a small car this time. You guys can probably guess what it is. It's not that hard to guess. I don't think I'm getting another Spyder though, because the aftermarket's just not there. So I don't think I'd want to get one and put a bunch of time and money into it and still have the same limitations I had before. I'll kind of just consider that as a one-off. I did it, I enjoyed it, I'm gonna move on to something else. So the next video, I'll be introducing you to the new car, see what you guys think about it. Again, it's gonna be pretty easy to guess what it is, but I think this next one is just gonna be a racing car. So autocross, maybe some track days, of course a couple drives around the mountains, but it's not gonna be a car I plan to commute with or use as like a daily driver or anything. It's just gonna be for auto sports. So that's the plan. Hopefully this isn't too big of a bummer like the Spyder videos are some of the most popular ones on my channel, but hopefully the next car I'll be able to do some awesome stuff with as well as all the other cars in the garage. And I'll make some more good content. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you on the next project.